Neuroscientists call it cognitive asymmetry. For others, you're a genius strategist. Also, you, paralyzed. Overthinking mess about your own life. Same brain. Two different operating systems. Here's how to hack it. You get an email from leadership. Subject: quick chat. Body: 3 words. Got a minute. That's it. And in the 4.7 seconds it takes your eyes to scan that line, your prefrontal cortex has already simulated 27 distinct scenarios ranging from promotion to termination, mapped the social dynamics of each outcome and cross-referenced them against every work interaction from the last quarter. This isn't anxiety. This is your neural architecture running a full-scale risk assessment. For a 3-word email, you know that 2 a.m. brain replay? Lying there, rehearsing what you should have said in the meeting. The perfect comeback you didn't think of in the moment. Or the parking lot panic before the performance review, heart racing. Palms sweating, running through every possible scenario. Here's what nobody tells you about that pattern. Your brain doesn't treat your problems the same way it treats other people's problems. Think about it. Your friend calls. Their relationship is falling apart. In 5 minutes, you've mapped out the entire situation, identified the core issue, and given them 3 actionable steps. Brilliant, detached, logical. But your relationship problem, you've been thinking about it for 3 weeks. You've simulated 47 different conversations. You've analyzed every text message. And you're still paralyzed. Same brain, completely different results. This is cognitive asymmetry. For any external problem, a friend's crisis, a colleague's failing project, your processor is a genius. It's detached, logical, brutally efficient. But for internal stakes, the same processor gets hijacked. Every variable gets an emotional weight modifier. Every outcome becomes tied to your identity. The simulation doesn't just model events, it models your entire self. That asymmetry between how you solve for others and how you solve for yourself is the root of the stall. You're not overthinking, you're running 2 different operating systems. So let's get concrete. Tuesday morning, 9:47 a.m. You're a senior analyst at a mid-sized tech company. The email pings from your VP. Subject: quick chat. Body: got a minute. Your brain immediately spins up. Did I mess up the Q3 report? No, that got approved. Maybe it's about the presentation. I knew I shouldn't have pushed back on that timeline. Or wait, are they cutting our team? Someone from finance mentioned a headcount freeze. For the next 48 hours, you're useless. You can't focus on actual work. You ask coworkers if they've heard anything. You check LinkedIn to see if the VP is hiring. You rehearse defensive explanations for projects from 6 months ago. You're running a high-resolution disaster simulation for a 3-word email. Thursday, 2 p.m. The meeting happens. You walk in with your stomach in knots. VP: thanks for coming. The director role just opened up. I've been watching your work for the last year. You interested? Promotion. You feel relief for about 30 seconds. Then, why did I waste 2 days panicking? What's wrong with me? And immediately after that, wait, director, can I actually handle that? What if premeta fail? What if everyone sees? I wasn't ready for this. The cycle never stopped. It just found a new target. Here's what breaks it. Stop treating your life as your life. Start treating it as the most important project you'll ever consult on. When you analyze a friend's career, you're the brilliant consultant. Detached, strategic, clear-eyed. When you analyze your own, you become the anxious client. Emotional, spiraling, paralyzed. The reframe is this: fire yourself as the client, hire yourself as the consultant. And consultants don't work with vague anxiety. They work with precision tools. The 3 protocols we're about to cover are your consulting toolkit, the exact methods you to use on a high-paying client, applied ruthlessly and lovingly to yourself. Tool 1. The forced launch timer. It makes indecision more painful than imperfect action. Tool 2. The detached perspective mirror. It Shows you the exact advice you'd give your most capable client. Tool 3. The adaptive calibration compass. It doesn't just point north. It recalibrates based on every step you take. These 3 tools turn your analytical depth from a liability into your most precise instrument. Tool 1. The forced launch timer. This isn't about making the right move. It's about making any move before your perfectionism vetoes it. Here is the exact protocol. When you feel the asymmetry locking up that endless simulation of your own problems, you set a timer for 2 minutes. In those 120 seconds, your only job is to define and execute the smallest viable action. Not the perfect email just opening the draft. Not the flawless proposal just writing the title. Not the full conversation just sending, "Hey, got 5 minutes to talk." The timer isn't there to rush you. It's there to create a boundary that your perfectionism cannot cross. When the timer hits 0, you must have taken that tiny step. No exceptions. Let's apply it to that VP email. The smallest viable action isn't solving the mystery. It's not crafting the perfect response. It's this. Reply with 2 time options. You set the timer. You open the draft. You type Tuesday at 3 p.m. or Wednesday at 11 a.m. Work for you. You attend at 1:58. Why this works. This breaks the recursive simulation loop by injecting one thing into the system. Real-world data. You are no longer theorizing. You're testing. Tool 2. The detached perspective mirror. When you're drowning in your own emotions, you ask one question. What would I tell my most capable, respected client to do right now? Instantly, you switch operating systems. You bypass the emotional weight modifier. The answer comes clean, clear, actionable. Back to that email scenario. You're spiraling. Should I ask what it's about? Will that sound defensive? Should I just wait? Then you ask the mirror question. The answer is immediate. I tell my best client to be proactive and assume positive intent. Send a brief follow-up asking for a loose agenda so you can prepare. Professional. Simple. This mirror works because it forces cognitive empathy without emotional entanglement. You're not you for a moment. You're the expert. And experts don't panic. They diagnose and prescribe. Use this mirror to define your next smallest viable action. It's your cheat code to clarity. Tool 3. The adaptive calibration compass. This solves the final piece. What to do after you've taken that first small action. Your old system would label any imperfect outcome as failure, feeding it back into your anxiety loop. This compass recalibrates that. It asks one question. What did this outcome teach me that I couldn't have known before acting? The answer is pure. Date not about you, but about the world. Let's say the VP's reply comes back. Vague, sure, either works. Your old system? Great. I still don't know what this is about. I'm screwed. The compass? Data point. My first approach didn't request enough clarity. Next, smallest viable action. Follow-up. Great. Let us do Tuesday at 3. Want to give me a quick heads up on the topic so I can prepare? The VP replies. Just want to discuss your roadmap for the next quarter. More data. You collect that data, adjust your strategy by 1 degree, and take the next, smallest viable action. This turns your path from a straight, rigid line that shatters on first contact into an intelligent, adaptive curve that learns and adjusts. You're not trying to predict the future perfectly. You're navigating it in real time. Let's revisit that 3-word email. But now, with your toolkit installed, the ping happens instead of a 48-hour simulation spiral. 1 is timer 2 minutes. Define your smallest viable action. Reply with 2 time options. 2. Mirror. What would I advise my best client? Be proactive. Don't assume the worst. 3. Launch. Send it. 4. Compass. VP's reply is vague. Data. Need more specificity. Next action. Follow up. Asking for agenda. VP clarifies. Quarterly roadmap discussion. Data. This is routine planning, not a crisis. Next action. Prepare talking points. The 48-hour panic spiral gone. In its place, a calm, 90-second protocol. The anxiety doesn't control you anymore. You have a system. You haven't just learned 3 tools. You've installed the consultant's mind. This is how you operate now. You're no longer the anxious client running disaster simulations. You're the strategic advisor who collects data, adjusts course, and moves forward. You fired the client. You are now the consultant of your own life. But here's the thing. These tools handle today's decisions. The email that just landed, the conversation happening in an hour. But what about tomorrow's stress? The presentation you're already dreading. The difficult conversation you know is coming next week. The meeting that makes your chest tight just thinking about it. That requires more than reactive tools. That requires architecture. In the next video, I reveal the complete cognitive blueprint I promised. How to stay calm when you know you'll be stressed. You'll learn how to preload got calm, design your emotional buffers, and turn your predictive mind from a source of anxiety into your greatest strategic advantage. This is a system that makes everything permanent. This is how you become stress-proof. It's waiting for you next.